Ignore what people think of you. I recently had an experience where I shared a conversation with someone, and their reflection on that conversation 100% said that they didn't listen to anything I said. They listened to what their trauma heard. Yep. Trauma does all the ruling for us. If we have inner trauma, our nervous system is consistently looking to keep us safe. Our nervous system is going to integrate the pattern recognition that is involved in that. It's going to pick out key words, and it's going to put together stories that fit the narrative that it feels it needs to protect itself. And I say this from my own experience. I've recently learned of myself how my brain does that with certain situations. I can very clearly see where I misread a situation and I ran a direction that wasn't true. And that was because my brain filled in the gaps. And then, ironically, karmically, I had that situation flipped where I was on the other side of it and the other person did the same thing to me. And this is where knowing who you are comes into play, because in life, people are going to hear what they want to hear, assume what they want to assume, piece together what they want to piece together. And some may be amazing and curious and want to dive deeper and be like, oh, well, this happened. Tell me more. Or this is unsettling for me. Did I hear this right? Okay, those are followed with curiosity. Other people will accuse and put up a wall, say, this is hard. They'll say, this is what I heard, this is who you are, and they'll put up a hard wall and cut you out. And that's okay, because that's their level at where they're at. And we want people that are curious about our experiences, because that's what doing the work is being curious as to how we're reacting, why we're reacting the way that we are, and what we can do to react in a way that next time makes ourselves and everyone else involved feel better. And so it's really important to know who you are, in the sense that through these experiences, when I was sharing things about myself, it was so okay with breakups or heart heartbreaks. I've always heard the terms of people saying, I don't want to share things about myself because they'll be used against me later. I never understood that, because I've never done that to people, and but now I had it done to me, so I get it. I get it. But if you know who you are, you're not filtering your stories, and you're allowing people to interpret those stories how they want without fear of them staying in your life or going. Because it's okay, whichever one it is. If they go, they go. If they stay, they stay. The important part is that you know who you are, and that as you're sharing, you're not filtering your stories, because you are sharing like you need to share. You want to share. You want to share those things about you. And if that person is misinterpreting them, like, you don't want to have to completely explain who you are as a person. They either get it or they don't. They either get it or they don't. And they either want to explore or they don't. And knowing yourself is great. Usually, I feel like in the past, there's times, well, okay, there are personalities where people will cater, well, let's see. The human brain will automatically cater the personality that you are behaving under or as, depending on who you're interacting with. So if you're talking to a church pastor, you're going to be acting as a different person than if you're talking to the CEO at your place of employment. Or if you're on the basketball court with the boys, you're going to be a different person than if you're playing with your 3-year-old daughter, right? There's infinite yous that exist within you. And actually, everyone in this world is you pushed out. So there really are infinite yous. But let's just contain it to the 3D world for a moment. And so subconsciously, you are already filtering your personality depending on who you are interacting with. And when you become so whole in yourself, those lines start to bleed and you start to not care. You start to not put yourself in a box for that person. And that's a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. Bad thing is that you're going to rub people the wrong way more so. Some people might take it the wrong way, and some people could totally misjudge you. Through these experiences, what prompted this video, I had 2 meetings. I'm not even going to call them dates, because He didn't plan or prepare. I did all the work. I initiated everything. I'm in my masculine. That's so, unless you're, it's not a date because it wasn't masculine enough to bring me out of my feminine to initiate the date. So, not a date, just a couple chats, right? And in the end, um, after a day of no messaging, not day of no messaging, after a day of him not responding, which is fine. People need time to space and think. It's just funny. Um, I get this long text saying things that he presumes about me. But he said it very factually. It's very clear that blah blah blah, and very factual things. I myself know these things are not factual, and I didn't feel the need to defend myself. I didn't feel the need to say that's not true, blah blah blah. I just left it. You know why? Because that person has already proven that their brain is filtering through a certain filter. They didn't hear me clearly the first time. They're not going to hear me clearly the second time. The response in the text were not asking about clarity or curiosity or any type of problem solving to move forward. It was, these are the facts as I see them. Goodbye. And I've purposely not surrounded myself by people that want to understand me on purpose, because I knew that they wouldn't get me, and I knew that conflict wasn't necessary in my life. And this person, I feel like I wanted to test it. I wanted to see what it would be like to put myself in that situation, to be around someone that, yes, didn't get me, and I was able to handle it. And that's the lesson, is being able to handle criticism because you are so strong in who you are. I didn't need to defend. I didn't need to change his mind, because his mind doesn't matter. His mind is set on, like, I have already told I know the stories that I told, and how they got misconstrued into how he interpreted them 100% goes to the belief that the brain shapes our perception off of our trauma and fills in gaps that they don't understand. And unless we have done the self work to move through those things with curiosity or open-minded expansionness, I mean, yeah, it's, what side do you want to be on? Do you want to be the side of the person who knows who you are? You no longer need to defend yourself. You no longer need to get warped up into drama. You can just recognize the difference and carry on. And I almost, like, I don't want to repeat this situation how I am repeating it. Like, in a sense, anytime you repeat things that happen to you, you're keeping the energy alive through the repeating of it, right? So anytime you repeat memories and things, and I guess that's where all this went wrong, is because as I was saying things about my past to this person, I was saying them very nonchalantly, very casually. I wasn't filtering, thinking that they needed backstories and things, because I know where those stories stand in my life, and I know that I don't need to say, oh, I did this, oh, but I don't need to excuse my past because I've overcome it. And because I didn't preface with all that, they were thinking that my past was in my present. But if you know who I am, then you wouldn't. And so it's just a great example. It's a wonderful example of doing the work and where it will get you in life. If you're feeling frustrated with people misunderstanding you right now, you don't need to feel frustrated with people misunderstanding you. You can be okay with them misunderstanding you. And if it's someone that you care about, yeah, that sucks. I mean, on the other side of things, I definitely have spent like 3 months trying to get someone else to understand my side, because I think they're capable of understanding my side, and they do show a bit of curiosity, but not really. And that is just the toxicness of learning how to be a human, right? So there's the full spectrum of things, and the biggest part is to just don't shame yourself for things, but also be strong in yourself, right? Like, I'm completely on 2 spectrums. On one spectrum, I am completely fine with someone rejecting me and thinking that I am who they think that I am. On the other hand, there's this person that I do respect and do admire, and I am unsettled by the fact that they think I'm someone who I'm actually not. So All in all, who do you think you are at the end of the day? Can you let others judge you and stand strong and say that's okay for you to think that of me? Are you strong enough to hold up a shield and block that? I wanted to say evil eye energy. Evil eye, I mean, maybe that's not quite the right situation, but that's what came up for the word. So, put up a shield for yourself today against the evil eye projections of who people think you are. And as I say that, definitely be mindful that everyone out there is truly you pushed out. Anytime you have issues with someone out there, it is reflecting something within yourself. And that's where the paradox and conundrum of how the fact that nothing actually exists and we are all one because we're all ourselves. And I've actually am on the brink of insanity trying to wrap my mind around a lot of this. And that's a huge reason why I haven't done videos lately because so this channel is Awaken with Deb. When we awaken to the awareness of what's going on inside our minds, inside our souls, and the earth and people around us, how much of it is out there? How much of it is in our head? All of it's in our head. Why are we creating all of this in our head? Why does any of it matter if we're creating it in our head? And so the trick is to awaken to the awareness. What that actually means, it means question everything and try not to go insane. If that sounds like for you, well, here we are, Awaken with Deb. I'm Deborah Kay. Have a blessed day.